I thank you so very much for joining me today in the guest chamber. This is God's boy Emmanuel Leromo, your host. You're welcome to season 4, episode number 3. I'm excited to have you with me today. I appreciate the privilege of your time. I'd like to remind you not to forget to visit our pages on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, listen to our recordings on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Kindly subscribe, follow, like, and leave comments there for us. We'll be glad to have you there. Today we are going to read from the book of Matthew chapter 5, and we read verse 13 only. Matthew chapter 5 verse 13. And I'll read the New International Version. It says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot." What an amazing statement Jesus made in this verse. And a good question he asked at that. Today in the chamber, we will briefly discuss the topic saltless salts. Saltless salts. Now, Jesus in this scripture proclaimed that Christians are the salt of the earth. We are the salt of the earth. And what exactly does salt do? As you may know, salt gives taste to food. Salt preserves things. And we are going to dwell on this basic function that salt performs. We will not go into other biological or scientific importance of salt in the body, of sodium chloride in the body. We just stick with the basics, the provision of flavor to food and the preservation of food or things. So folks, if you are not giving flavor to other people's life, we need to question your saltiness. If your presence does not improve the quality of life of others, then we need to question your saltiness. That is the basic function of the salty Christian. We are the salt of the earth. We are the ones that give flavor and taste to the world. We are the one that preserve the world. We are the one that improve the quality of life of people in our own way. It doesn't mean that you are responsible for the total quality of life of particular people, but at least you add to them daily because of the life that you live, because of the way you speak, because of the things that you do. But then Jesus asks the question, if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it become salted again? It is no longer good for anything. Folks, does it look like there is no more goodness in you? Does it look like you are of no benefit in any way to anyone around you? It may be because your saltiness has diminished or is totally non-existent. Because you are of no benefit to people, you are thrown out and trampled underfoot. If your life does not give meaning to others, you are non-existent to them. They do not even see the reason why you exist. Lots of people around you do not even know. They cannot see anything that your life adds to them. And so they begin to ask, what is the benefit of his Christianity? And folks, a lot of Christians lose their saltiness for two main reasons. Scientifically, there are reasons why sodium chloride will no longer become sodium chloride. And number one is dilution. If you add too much water to salt, it loses its saltiness because the quantity of water is more than the concentration that it has. So it will lose its flavor. So folks, if you begin to dilute your life, your spirituality with carnality, you are going to lose your saltiness. If you as a Christian begin to add carnal things, fleshly things to your body, to yourself, then you lose your saltiness. Dilution reduces the concentration of your saltiness. Flesh reduces your spiritual senses and it dilutes and become more fleshly. As you add negativities to your spirit daily, your saltiness, your spiritual saltiness reduces because of dilution. The other reason why you may lose your saltiness is perception and masking. If you coat your life with other things, then the saltiness disappears. A lot of Christians, because of compromise, they coat C-O-A-T. They coat their salty life with things of the flesh. They compromise here and there to gain contracts. They cover up their Christianity. They make statements like, let's put Christianity aside. Let's put spirituality aside so they can gain this contract, so they can gain this position, so they can attain to this place. And so they mask their life. They coat their life with other things apart from the salty taste that they are supposed to present. So the salt is hidden within some other things that are covering that saltiness. In these two ways, Christians lose their saltiness and they are of no benefit to others. So they are good for nothing. Folks, don't be a saltless Christian. If you see your life without any benefit to others, that others cannot identify you, if you see people ignore you spiritually, they don't come to ask you for counsel, they don't come to ask you for prayer, for interpretation of verses of scripture, for opinion about things, if you are of no benefit for them, it definitely means that your saltiness is degraded or is non-existent. If you must remain the salt to the world and the people around you, your family, your friends, you must keep your saltiness intact. Don't dilute it and don't mask it. Remain the Christian that will give flavor to the life of others. Remain the Christian that will preserve others. That is the way to be the salt of the earth.